Rashid, what happened, what happened. But after 1900, when Jamaat was agreed to get together in Lahore, after that, everybody came, in front of him and just started to challenge him, come and just do this. In the last days, it is said that Mother Ishasab, they said that he predicted that he will not be there more than 48 hours or something like that. Something is in 908 was his year of death. Okay. And Rasulullah Sallallahu mentioned in the Ahadith so many times that I am the last prophet and no one will come as a prophet after me. Okay. But we Muslims, sometimes we Muslims believe that Prophet Isa Islam will return. He is alive in heavens, okay, with physical life, and he he had to complete his days of life in future sometimes. In our saying, it is mentioned that Isa alayhi Islam is still alive and he will come back and he will serve the religion of Islam. But when he will come back again, he will not come back as a prophet. He will come as the follower of Rasulullah Sallallahu. He will come as a Muslim, and then he will help Muslims of that time. And he will fight from them, from Muslims to non-Muslims. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Inshallah, we will discuss today another quality of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, that we believe that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam is still alive with his physical body, and he is living a life like he was before in his time. And just the phase of that death was only for a second, for a moment, because that is the promise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala of everyone, that they have to taste the death. Once they are alive, they have to taste the death. The Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam and all other prophets who came before him, they are alive. They live physical life. They are free to go anywhere. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blesses upon them with different type of blessings. They lead namaz. They help their followers. They see the actions of their followers. And whatever they want to do, they can. This belief is called the lives of prophets. lives of Prophet. Yeah? What we live in now, this is called dunya. And this is called alame khalq. Khalq means creation. We were not here, we were created, we were born in this world. Everything is being born in this world now. That's why this world is called alame khalq. Okay, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving life to everyone in this world. Whoever gets life, whoever borns in this world, one day he has to go from this world. And when his life is completed, when his time, whatever he is promised by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, will finish, then he has to go to the phase of the death. Everybody. That means departuring soul, because every living thing has two main things. One is body, one is soul. When death time comes, then soul leaves the body. In simple words, this is called death. Now our soul is with our body, with us all the time. And it has to stay with us until the time Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala set for this partnership or this combination. But when that time will come, then soul will be free. In Arabic or in Urdu it is called ruh. Then that time the ruh will be separate from the body. When the ruh will be separate from the body, that is called death, in simple words. Okay? Every living thing has to go or has to come to that point when his soul will be free, okay? And his soul has to leave the body. Same rule will apply to the prophets as well, because they are human beings. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala set certain time, a certain time period for them. When they live their natural life in this world, then they have to go to the phase of the death. And that means to the prophets is that their soul will leave their body and will go to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And their soul will get the rewards or special blessings from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And after that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allows the souls of the prophet to live anywhere, to go anywhere, to do anything. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made prophet's body perfectly and best. So the souls of the prophet, after the phase of the death, they come back to the body of that prophet and they live with them. Or if they want to go anywhere, yes, they can. Because after the phase of the death, because the prophets, they have done their duties, then it is time for them to get the reward from the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because the prophets are sent to convey the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we read about the prophets, they do their duties very well. They don't make any mistake in their life, if you remember that, because they have done their duties, at their best. So after the phase of the death system, it is time for them to get the reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives the special powers to the souls of the prophets to go, to live, to do whatever they want. Here is a question. What is the best place in the universe? What is the best, or the most holiest, or the most respected, or most highest rank place in this world? Medina Sharif, whole Medina.
The grave of Rasulullah.
The grave of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Heaven, paradise, arsh, kursi. What you think about that? The grave of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, is the most holiest place in the universe. Why? Because the holy body of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is there. Because we believe that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the most respected person in the universe. He is the highest rank in the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So his body is on highest rank in the universe. So whenever the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was in Makkah, the Makkah was the best place in the universe. Why? Because the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was there. When he was alive in his apparent life in Medina, the Medina was the best place in the universe. Now his grave is the best place in the universe because his holy or his pious or his pure body is there. When his soul left the body and went to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allowed his soul to go anywhere, what was the best place in the universe? Where his body was. So his soul came back to his body. Okay? So that connection, which was in his apparent life, in this worldly life, that connection still remained after the taste of the death. So that's why we say, we believe that the prophets, even after the death, after this completing this apparent life, this worldly life, the connection of their soul and their body still remain connected to each other, because body and soul is connected to each other, so they are then still alive there. There is a verse, there is an ayat in the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. O Muhammad, we sent you mercy. We sent you as a mercy, as a blessing for all worlds, for all universe. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is rahmat. He is mercy. He is blessing for everyone. So as long as till that time, when this universe is still there, the mercy of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam will be there. If he is not alive, how he will be mercy for the universe? Do you understand? Our scholars say on this ayat that he is the rahmat for everyone. till anything is there, the Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam will be rahmat, will be mercy for that thing. If he is not alive, if he is finished, na'uzu billah min salik, like some people say, if he is gone, how he is mercy for everyone then? And once Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was talking to his companions, and he was telling them, just keep reading Durud Sharif upon me every day, especially on Friday, your Durud will come to me. Some of the companions asked him, even after your death? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to him, yes. Even after when I will leave this world, then still you can read Durud Sharif to me. Your Durud will come to me. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prohibited, has stopped the world, the earth, the ground, that he will eat the bodies of the prophets. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made haram, unlawful for this world. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not allow the ground, the soil, that he will finish, he will eat the bodies of the prophets. So we believe that his body is still there in Medina, like he was buried, like he was put on day one when he passed away. And we believe that whatever we do, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam can see them, can see our actions. Whatever we say, he can listen to them. Our deeds, our actions are showed to him on Mondays, on Thursdays, on time by time. And whenever he sees our good deeds, he becomes happy. Whenever he sees our bad deeds, he becomes upset. There were very little people in the Ummah. They are very little. Or even we should have said little, maybe few. No, we shouldn't say few, maybe fewer. Okay, maybe in our 1400 history, there are more, maybe 2, 3 people who said that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is not there. He is completely finished. 200 years before, if you go leave these 200 years and go in back 1200 years, first 1200 years of the Muslim history, fewer people. Okay, but in last 200 years, this thing came up, and people started to say that is Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam still alive or not? Okay, majority of the Muslims, they believe that the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is still alive. He is living a physical life. He is getting the blessings from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, different favors from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is doing whatever he wants, and this and that. But because, last 200 years are time for, different trials for Muslims. Whatever we face, whatever we see in the world now, this is only the fruit, and this is only the result of last 200 years. People started to say in last 200 years that the Rasulullah sallam is there, like soil, like literally, and he is finished, his body is not there anymore, and he's gone now. And whatever we do, he does not know anything, nothing is going to present to him, nothing we see there. The first book in last 200 years that mentioned this Aqidah is called Taqwiyatul Iman. by Shah Ismail Belwi. In Taqwiyatul Iman, in that book, this Aqidah is mentioned there. And after that, still scholars of that time, they fought against this Aqidah, this belief, and they, try to make the common people, a common public, to keep them on this Aqidah that Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is still alive.
So did Shah Rahmatullah clarify these points because it was starting to emerge more of a fitna?
Shah Ismail.
Oh, is it Shah Ismail? Okay. Next
Shah
time.
Ismail.
Yeah, okay. This is,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shah Ismail was not a right person.
Yeah. So he spread it.
Whatever he said in this book, that is totally against Islam. And he made in this book, all the Muslims mushrik. Mushrik means?
Polytheists worshipping other than Allah.
Worshipping other than Allah. They say that the majority of the Muslims are worshipping other than Allah at this time. And in that book is not very big, it's a small book. In that book, they mention that Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is not alive. Whoever believes that Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is still alive, he is a mushrik. Then people, the scholars of Ahle Sunnah, scholars of that time, they wrote the book against this, and they tried to make this point clear to the common public that Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and all the prophets, they are still alive, and they have very special and more powerful life now. And when Allah Hazrat Rahma went to Makkah Sharif to do his Hajj, and they in 1905 and 6, and they presented these things to the scholars of Makkah, and scholars of Makkah, they rejected these things, and they issued a fatwa against these things. Then another book came in the market. That book is Al-Muhannad al-Mufannad. Al-Muhannad al-Mufannad. That book came in 1907-8, in that year. In that book, some scholars, so-called scholars, they clarified that they believe that Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is still alive, and he has better life now. But this issue was still there. Till 1957, an organization was introduced by the name of Jamaat Ishat Tawheed. Jamaat Ishat Tawheed in 1957. All these people believe that Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is na'uz billah min zalik, they are dead. And the Ahle Hadith, Kal Mukallid, they all believe this thing as well. Jamiat Ishad-e-Tawheed was Sunnah, eh? Jamiat Ishad-e-Tawheed was Sunnah. That is the sub-organization of Darul Uloom Deoband. In Darul Uloom Deoband, a Deobandi school of thought, they have two groups. One is Hayati, one is Mamati. Hayati people believe that Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has a physical life, like he was in his time. But the Mamati people say that his physical life is finished. He is having a life in Barzakh. And just remember, all Ahle Hadith people are Mamati. All Salafi.
So what exactly do the Hayati believe?
Hayati believe that Rasulullah Sallam has a physical life, like he had it before in his apparent life. He is having still that life now. Mamati says his physical life is finished. He is having only Barzakhi life. You know, when I told you Alam-e-Khalq is this word. When things are being created, being born. And one is Alam-e-Barzakh. What is Alam-e-Barzakh? Alam-e-Barzakh is when someone tastes the death. After that, till day after judgment. From death to day after judgment, that world of that phase is Alam-e-Barzakh. I can name few people who believe the Mamati Akida and who promoted too much Mamati. Mamati Akida, just remember this point. Mamati Akida was there from day one in the food of thought. Okay? Just remember, because Shah Ismail Delvi said in his book, and Shah Ismail Delvi is Shah Ismail Delvi is their Imam.
Yeah.
Shah Ismail Delvi is their ideal role model. He did very good work in his life according to them. They praised him very much in his books. He started, or he put the fire or oil on the fire of this Akida in his time. Just remember this point. This Akida was there in them from day one. That's why, you know, this Jamiat Ishad-e-Tawheed was Sunnah is still comes under the banner of Deoband. When the Deobandi people claim that, look, Tablighi Jamaat is a different organization. Okay? Nadwatul Ulama is a different organization. Jamiat Ishad-e-Tawheed was Sunnah is different organization. Safa Sahaba is different organization. This was their style of the work in the time. Still is there. Look, it's now Jamiat Islam Rahman is different organization. Another Jamiat Ulama Islam was in here in KP side, Maulvi Samiul Haq, if you remember. His son Maulvi Hamidul Haq is killed in last 1, 2, 3 months ago. And Samiul Haq was killed 4, 5, 6 years ago. And his dad, Maulvi Abdul Haq, who started the Darul of Akola Khatak, very famous Darul in that area. All Taliban leaders, they studied from Akola Khatak. They are students of Akola Khatak people. Akola Khatak is KP side. Different organization. One Jamiat Ulama Islam is in Balochistan side. Okay. So what they do, they make one political wing, one non-political wing, one for tabligh purpose, one for charity purpose, one for this purpose, one for that purpose. This was their style of the work. Okay? According to this strategy, what they did, they made a separate organization to spread the Aqidah of Mamad, which is called Jamiat Ishat Tawheed was Sunnah in 1957. All people in that Jamaat was Deobandi. And still they accept them. Till today, they accept that they are Deobandi. They are our people. We have some dispute on this issue, that's it. Still, they are our people. Jamiat Ishat Tawheed was Sunnah is registered under the banner of the Darul Deoband, and the Darul Deoband accepts them. Okay? So remember this point. Aqidah Imamat was there from day one. What happened? When Allah went to Makkah Sharif, and Allah told the ulama of Makkah, we have some people in our area, they believe this. And ulama of Makkah, they said, oh, this is wrong. We don't accept this. So what they did, they sent their person. They did not, to be honest, send to that person to them. Actually, that person wrote that book in his house. Okay, and he took few signatures from few scholars, not all of the scholars. Few scholars that look, Allah's possibility that misquoted our books and this and that. Look, ulama, Hijaz, Makkah, they, acknowledged our thing and they said, okay, we are okay. That book is called Al-Muhannad al-Mufannad. Yeah? About the authenticity of Al-Muhannad and Al-Mufannad, there are two opinions in the Ubandis. The Hayati people say Al-Muhannad al-Mufannad is authentic book and it is proper our Aqidah, and whatever is written in that book, we believe in that. Sorry kids, we are getting in the history and don't worry, we will bring it back and we do the simple points. Hayati people say Al-Muhannad al-Mufannad is okay. They say whatever mentioned in that book, that is our belief. And in that book, Al-Muhannad al-Mufannad, 95% of the Aqidah of Brahmi. %. Only few words, few sentences, few lines, they changed. Okay, wherever the little space was there, they tried to do that. But 95%, they agreed that the Brahmis are okay. Whatever Brahmis do, whatever, all these things, Milad, Qiyam, okay, the life of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the knowledge of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, these things, the powers of Awliya Kiram, these things are okay.
The Hayati one saying this.
They say.
Okay.
What Mumati people say because at that time, the power, the government was Sunnis. So just to calm them down, our scholars, they did some hypocrisy and they did not believe these things. But still they wrote a book just because to save them from the, you can say, unhappiness of that government. ਸਮਝ ਲਈਏ ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਉਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਮੱਕਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਸੀ ਨਾ ਉਹ ਸੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਸੁਨੀਆਂ ਦੀ ਤੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਗਜ਼ਬ ਤੋਂ ਬਚਾਉਣ ਲਈ ਨਾ ਸਾਡੇ ਫਿਰ ਬਜ਼ੁਰਗਾਂ ਨੇ ਨਾ ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਕਿਤਾਬ ਲਿਖੀ ਹਿਪੋਕ੍ਰੇਸੀ ਕੀਤੀ ਇਟ ਵਾਸ ਨਾਟ ਅਵਰ ਅਕੀਦਾ ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਅਲ-ਮੁਹੰਨਦ ਅਲ-ਮੁਫannad ਨੂੰ ਮੰਨਦੇ ਹੀ
Yeah, but wasn't this written by one of their four scholars, wasn't it?
Huh?
Who wrote the book, Al-Muhannad?
ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਇੱਕ ਸ਼ਾਗਿਰਦ ਸੀ ਉਹਨੇ ਲਿਖੀ ਨਾ ਲਿਖ ਕੇ ਫਿਰ ਉਸਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬੜੇ ਸੀ ਨਾ ਚਾਰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਜਿੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਨਾ ਜੋ ਮੁਲਕ ਕਾਸਮ ਨਤਵੀ ਤੇ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਮਾਰ ਗਿਆ ਸੀ ਨਾ ਉਹ 1880 ਵਿੱਚ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਮਾਰ ਗਿਆ ਸੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਰਸ਼ੀਦ ਗੰਗੋਈ ਸੀ ਨਾ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਮਾਰ ਗਿਆ ਸੀ ਕੋ ਮੇਰਾ ਖਿਆਲ ਹੈ 1906 ਇਹ 1908 ਵਿੱਚ ਲਿਖਣਾ
Wasn't it Saharanpur who wrote this?
ਉਹ ਖਲੀਲ ਅਹਿਮਦ ਸਹਾਰਨਪੁਰੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸੀ ਨਾ ਉਹਦੀ ਤਰਫ ਇਹ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕੀ ਕੀਤਾ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਇੱਕ ਬਣਾਇਆ ਕੁਐਸਚਨੇਅਰ,
Yeah.
ਕੁਐਸਚਨੇਅਰ ਬਣਾਇਆ ਮੌਲਵੀ ਹੁਸੈਨ ਅਹਿਮਦ ਮਦਨੀ ਨੇ, ਉਹ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਬੰਦਾ ਸੀ, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ। ਜਵਾਬ ਵੀ ਉਹਨੇ ਆਪੋ ਲਿਖੇ ਜਾਂ ਮੌਲਵੀ ਖਲੀਲ ਅਹਿਮਦ ਸਹਾਰਨਪੁਰੀ ਨੇ ਲਿਖੇ, तो ओपिनियन, ठीक है। सवाल भी उन्हें खुद लिखे, हुसैन अहमद मदनी उठे ही सी मदीना शरीफ से, मक्का शरीफ से। फिर आला हज़रत ने किताब सामुल रमैन में फतवा ले लिया ना, सिग्नेचर उन्होंने फिर किस पे दो है, सवाल भी उन्हें आपको लिखे, जवाब भी उन्हें आपको लिखे, बाद इस सिग्नेचर से ना सारे को ले अपने मुल्कियां को, तो जेडे उठे उसी ना जेडे उलमा से ना मक्का शरीफ दे हरमैन शरीफैन दे उन्हां विचों कुछ लोगों ने उन्होंने साइन।
So are we saying, just to make it easier for the brothers here as well, that this book was written as a deceptive move
100%.
because of Allah Hazrat getting the fatwa approved and the scholars in Makkah Medina Sharif,
Yes.
that the Deobandis are deviated, the Mamatis, then they created this book to say, no, we believe in this, just to get the
Who
heat off
believe-
their back.
Who believe in your speech? Who are ekele lafz Mamatiyan de. It's not our saying.
Yeah.
Mamati people say to Hayatis,
Yeah, that,
look, Al-Muhannad al-Mufannad was written just to get some relief from the government of the Makkah and the scholars of the Makkah, because at that time they were dominant. Okay? Because Allah got the fatwa and got these things approved by the scholars of Makkah to cut the influence of the Ala Hazrat on the ulama of the Makkah. The Mamati people say, our forefathers, what they did not believe these things, but still they wrote these things and they presented this book to the scholars of Makkah just to calm them down and just to try to, cover them. That look, we are some people just another thing just blaming us, and he is putting these things on us for no reason. When they set that organization, Jamaat Ishaat Tawheed wa Sunnah, then Masla Hayat was very highlighted, discussed too much. ਅੱਧੇ ਇੱਧਰ ਹੋ ਗਏ, ਅੱਧੇ ਇੱਧਰ ਹੋ ਗਏ, ਇਹ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਾ, ਇਹ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਾ ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ, ਇਹ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਹਯਾਤ ਹੈ, ਇਹ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਹਯਾਤ ਹੈ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ, ਰੌਲਾ ਪਵਾ ਦਿੱਤਾ। Both sides, same people. We believe that we Ahle Sunnah wa Jamaat. No one believed in Ahle Sunnah wa Jamaat that Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is dead. And throughout in the history, 1400 years, there is no Sunni scholar in the history who said that. Only these people, Ibn Taymiyyah maybe said, maybe other people they said, but I told you, maybe one person or two people in one time, maybe after 200 years another person came, maybe after 300-400 years another person. Hardly 5-6 people in first 1200 years they said this thing. But in this 200 years, and especially the last 100 years, when the Takbiyatul Iman came, there, this debate started from there. Okay, one group of people, one mentality, split it into two groups. One saying Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is alive, one saying no, he is dead. And when after 60, when they made this organization, this topic, this issue was so heated up that Maulvi Tayyib Nanotri, grandson of Qasim Nanotri, okay, and the principal or head of Darul Deoband at that time, he came in Pakistan from India, and he made both parties sit together in 62, okay, in Rawalpindi, and he made an agreement, a statement, which was accepted or acceptable for both parties, Hayatis and Mamatis. Okay, that is called the Agreement of 1962. In that agreement, it is mentioned that Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is alive and he is having better life. Okay, in Deobandi histories, 1962 is very important. Okay, so they made an agreement. Okay, with the general statement that Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is alive and he is having or he is enjoying a better life. I'm just telling you the summary. That agreement or that piece of paper you can find on the internet. But because nobody cared about that piece of written and signed and these things and those things. And after that, they started preaching that Aqidah again. Still, there are two groups in the Deobandis.
Is he dead then? That movie cost someone in to his grandson.
They are Deobandis, one.
Tayyib.
Well, Muhammad Tayyib, you know. Because it's all the Dade de Murid, you know.
So basically, he was trying to clear up the mess for what his grandfather and that party set up, sealed on the trying to bring them back together. But it's still a deceptive movie.
You remember, I sent you a clip.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch it. You
in Al-Hubbu Fillah's group. That Molvi is Molvi Muhammad Ilyas Guman from Sargoda. Okay? He is their manager, Hayati Molvi. What does he say? He say, don't say bad thing to Hayati ulama, don't say bad thing to Mamati ulama, both are our ancestors. See, wherever more Hayati people, be Hayati. Wherever more Mamati people, be Mamati.
Yeah, the hypocrites, yeah, basically.
That's only Ilyas Guman is saying.
Yeah.
And after 1960, when the Deobandi, they were influenced by Saudi too much, to be honest. The Saudi वाले सारे नहीं से बंदे. Saudi वाले सारे नहीं से बंदे. जिस लाइन ने नौकर पैसे फड़े, जिस लाइन में फंडिंग की थी, for some reason, after that, majority of the Deobandis, they believe in Mamati Aqidah. Only few Deobandis, just they try to be, Hayati. But the question is, where those Mamati people came from? Who produced them? Who educated them? You? They were students of your teachers, your Shaykhul. They spent their lives in your madrasas. Where they learned this Aqidah from? Still, if you do search in the Namoriya Ta'ula Bandialibi, Fizarayat Bakrabi, they are alive people now these days who preach the Aqidah Imamat. And if you go back there was a whole area, Panchpir, 5 Pirs, Panchpiri Firqa, if you put there, you will find so many things there. And other day, I was listening to the interview of Maulvi Tayyab Ali Panchpiri. He is the big Panchpiri's son. This time, they asked him, it's too many problems with Hayati and Mamati in Deobandis, what you say. He exactly said what I told you, that Al-Muhannad Al-Muhannad was written because of some reason at that time. He clearly mentioned that. उस वेले क्योंकि जेडे मौलवी शरीफ मक्का सी, the governor of Makkah was the murid of Shaykh Ahmad Zaini Dahlan, Sayyid Ahmad Zaini Dahlan. ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਮੁਰੀਦ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਤੇ ਬੜਾ ਅਹਿਮਦ ਜ਼ੈਨੀ ਦਖਲਾਨ ਦਾ ਬੜਾ ਅਸਰ ਸੀ ਗਵਰਨਰ ਤੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਫਿਰ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਬਚਾਉਣ ਲਈ ਅਲ ਮੁਹੰਨਦ ਅਲ ਮੁਹੰਨਦ ਲਿਖ ਕੇ ਗਵਰਨਰ ਮੱਕਾ ਨੂੰ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਤੇ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਤੇ ਇਲਜ਼ਾਮ ਹੈ ਅਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਹੁਕੂਮਤ ਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਅਮਲ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ So you understand now?
Yeah.
So where this started from? How did this thing come in the Deobandis? From day one. Shah Ismail Delhi, Taqwiyatul Iman. You still own that book. You say that that book is very good. It should be in every house. You say that Shah Ismail Delhi was very good scholar in Islam. He did very good work. Okay? You don't disown him. Still you own him. Then these things were under the carpet, but still there, because the scholars of that time, they did good work against this Aqidah and against what Ismail Delhi. Okay, but still it was coming generations by generation. If you remember, Maurice Ismail Delhi died in 1831, and when Jamaat Tawheed Sunnah was made, established 1957. 140 years after. How this Aqidah was traveling 140 years? Some of them,
Yeah. The Saudis are definitely behind the Islam.
after 60s, when the oil was there,
Yeah.
oil money was there. फिर उन्होंने सही अगला you know. But the question is that 140 years, how did this Aqidah came from generation to generation? If it was not your Aqidah, who taught them this Aqidah?
They don't want. Yeah.
Sorry, sir. Come back to general point now. So what we believe that today's topic is Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is alive with physical life. Okay? With physical life. He is getting so many benefits from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? He can read the namaz. Okay? He can have other, worldly things. He can help his followers. He can see the actions of his ummah, his nation. Okay? So many people saw him. He came to so many people. So we believe that Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's body is still safe there, like it was put after his funeral or after his burial. Because the enemies of Islam, they because they did so many things against Islam. So one of the things they did, that they made this belief, this point, and they spreaded this point in the ummah, in the nation, that Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is not alive anymore. But we believe that he is alive with physical life. Just remember this. Physical life and better life. Okay? Because Mamati people, they say, Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is having barzakhi life. Okay? Not physical life. Little bit difference, the topic will go a little bit. There is another topic. The Hayati people say that Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has physical life now. Okay? Physically he is alive, but he can't listen anybody or anything from the far, from the distance. Whoever goes on his grave, stand on his grave in Medina Sharif, read Durood Sharif, say anything to him, okay? He listens in Medina Sharif. These Hayati people say. But what we believe, that is no matter. In Medina Sharif or anywhere in the world, wherever you stand or sit, and you call or say to anything to Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is able to listen to your request, and he is able to answer or do good solution or help to you whatever you want.
Lama Sab, do Hayati people then therefore have a problem with the term saying Ya Rasulullah
Yes.
from a distance.
Yes.
So if we recite
Here we and then Hayati and we live separate from it.
yeah, so Hayati would say no, we don't.
What
do
Hayati
this.
say? Whenever you read Durood Sharif from here,
Mm.
there are few angels. They take your Durood Sharif and they present your Durood Sharif to Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So we say, who is the Afsal?
Mm.
Who is more powerful? Who is more close to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala? Who has more blessings from Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala? Angels or Rasulullah? If angels can listen to us, and angels now, we are sitting in Wolverhampton, in this center, are reading the Sharif, are doing zikr, are doing the Sarkar Aslam's Naat Sharif. If angels now we are doing, why not Rasulullah now that? The only difference is that because we need to understand the, if there is hadith that Rasulullah saying, whoever reads the Durood Sharif on my grave, I listen to him. Whoever reads Durood Sharif upon me from the distance, Malaika brings that Durood Sharif to me. So we have to justify, we have to connect these different hadiths that Rasulullah whoever reads Durood Sharif with full attention, tawajjuh, with full manners, adab, Rasulullah listen to his Durood Sharif directly. Whoever reads Durood Sharif without attention, okay, not fully focused to Rasulullah, then Malaika take him to Durood to Rasulullah. It only things that connects or that relates to your attention, to your effort. If you put in more effort, Rasulullah will give you more blessing. If you're busy with your other things and just you're doing Durood Sharif or doing zikr and these things, then Malaika is there to take your thing. If I'm not forgetting, that one of the sayings that Rasulullah said that whoever reads Durood Sharif to me or sends Durood Sharif to me, I know their names, I know their father's names, I know their family's names, something. Hadith Sharif. Allah Pak, kami beshi maaf kar. So Hayati people say, Rasulullah is alive. He listens, whatever you say, whatever you read on his grave. Whatever you read, whatever you do from the distance, Malaikas, our angels are there to take these things to Rasulullah's throat. But we believe that Rasulullah, as he listens near his grave, same he listens anywhere in the world. Okay? As he sees in the Medina Sharif, he can see anywhere in the world. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given him that power to do all these things. Okay?
And also, Allah, with that one, the Prophet ﷺ has been made a witness for us.
MashaAllah.
So you can mention.
So I remember, I told you, if you remember, that our actions are presented to him every Monday and Thursday. Okay? That is the meaning of the verse that was came in the Quran 2 times. Okay? The Rasul will be witness to you. And that is one or two or different sayings that Rasulullah said that your actions will be presented to me on the Mondays and on Thursdays. So try to read more Durood Sharif in these days and try to do good things in these days. Okay? So if he is witness to our actions, it means he knows what we are doing. Hayati clear? Mamati clear? Okay? We clear? Hayati clear. Okay? We say Rasulullah has power to listen whatever he wants, to see whatever he wants. Hayati people say he can listen and he can see or he can do only in his grave, near his grave, not everywhere. Everywhere, but everywhere things there are few angels, there are other appointed Malaika. Mamati people say nothing, nothing there. So inshallah hayat clear today.
Yeah.
Rasulullah is physically alive. Okay, just remember this line. Physically alive and having better life. with more powers, with more blessings from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? He reads the namaz, he when he see you doing good thing, he becomes happy. When he see you are in trouble, he gives you some good, inspiration, good courage. Okay? So many things he is doing. And he can live in the Madinah Sharif, he can live in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's court, he can go in the paradise, okay? He can go in anywhere in the world. When Pindar Shah went to Makkah Sharif for his Hajj, and on the way back, when he saw the Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in his dreams, and then he wrote that, not you remember that story? On his journey, there was a very big madrasa in Medina, Makkah Sharif. This madrasa Soltia. MashaAllah, 2-3 good scholars, he brought with him from there. How? When he was going to Makkah Sharif, before that, some news went to Makkah Sharif that one scholar from Hindustan is coming who believes that Rasulullah sallam can listen from everywhere. And you can call to Rasulullah sallam from anywhere. And those people came for Munazara. Rasulullah to Pindar on this issue that Rasulullah sallam can listen to anybody and now from the distance. And Pindar was sitting in the yard of Haram Sharif to Makkah, just doing his life and everything. The people who came to do debate to him when they saw him finished. First, Maulana Muhammad Ghazi Sahab, and his grave is in Medina Sharif now. In Gola Sharif. Rasulullah, when the Pir Shah finished his wazaif, they looked at him, asked him, why did you come here? Just he crying. Then he told him, just I came here to do the debate on the position of saying Ya Rasulullah. But whenever I saw you, I lost everything. Whatever you say, I say that. Then Pir Shah just give him the Sunni and said, okay, no problem, let's carry on. So when he returned, he offered him, why you are sitting here now? He said, just I have to do some more education. The Pir Shah said, look, you've been sitting here for 40 years. It's enough now. Let's go to Gola Sharif. And then he came back to Gola Sharif and he lived all his life in Gola Sharif. His grave is in Gola Sharif. Maulana Muhammad Ghazi Sahab is a really good person.
He was originally from where?
From our side.
अच्छा.
ये सारे उस वेले पता है दरअसल ये सारे हिंदुस्तान से हिजरत करके गए सी ना मक्का जाते सी
जी.
when the हालात इतने खराब होते सी कि हिंदुस्तान में ये सारे बड़े चले गए सी
40 साल हो गए उनको.
मौलाना रहमतुल्लाह साहब से करानवी, he was a very good debater against Christians. रहमतुल्लाह करानवी, उन्होंने गालबंद थे बैठ की थी. फिर मैशा साहब ने आज इमदादुल्लाह साहब ने जनाब को दिता सी अपने खिलाफत शेख लाली चिश्तिया साबरिया मसवी शरीफ पढ़ाते सी तो एक शेर सी ते वो शेर की एक्सप्लेनेशन राजी साहब की थी ते आप पैसे सुनते सी पे बैठे आई साहब नहीं सी पता कौन है. एक बंदे ने सवाल किया, वो सवाल आई साहब अच्छी तरीके से एक्सप्लेन नहीं कर सके, बंदे को समझ नहीं आई. तो फिर मैं साहब ने हाथ खड़ा किया कि मैं करूं अगर तुम इजाजत दो कर. फिर उन्होंने एक्सप्लेनेशन की थी. आई साहब उठी वाली विचार उसे उठ के अपने कार गए तो अपना जो है ऐसी सिलसिला वो लाए. तो फिर मेरे शाह साहब ने लिखा ना कि मेरी तरफ आगे प्लीज करो. फिर मेरे शाह साहब एक टाइम प्रोग्राम बनाया सी कि मैं उसके लगाना मक्का शरीफ. फिर आज इमदादुल्लाह साहब ने फरमाया सी कि नहीं तुसी जाओ हिंदुस्तान में बड़ा फितना होना है तुसी कवर करो. फिर वो उस तरह वो बस गल चली सी कि saying Ya Rasulullah is okay and now. उस वेले एक big scholar, Maulana Muhammad Ghazi Ulama, they came to debate to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam as to with मेरे विश्वास no debate कि मेरे विश्वास ना तुझे यार पहुंच एक चीज होती है उन्होंने इल्म तस्कीर एक स्पेशल वो बंदे दा रोल बहुत बड़ा है बहुत बड़ी